everyone, my name is Joelys and I am known as AspergerWorld. Today's video is going to be all about communication, masking, trying to do the right thing, and how masking can create shutdowns of capabilities, hence the filter. So there's another aspect of masking, which is simply trying to make conversation and communicating with the people around us. So when it comes to autism and communication, there are many hidden difficulties. And sometimes the executive function and the inability to make connections and problem solve, process information, process what is being said to us, can mean that our abilities to communicate are also poorly affected. But this does mean that we are forced to try and communicate in a way that suits the non-autistic community. So part of the masking is that we have to communicate in a very neurotypical way. So we are not always given the time to process the information or process what it is we need to say. And there is very much a lack of patience in helping us to communicate. As autistic people, we find ourselves trying to say anything at all to keep up with the conversation at hand. And this is a type of masking because we're trying to pretend that we're not struggling to keep up with the conversation. And this is something called, I call it parroting back words. So I do this because I learned from a very early age that I get in trouble if I don't appear like I'm listening, or if I don't appear like I understand what's going on. And so I find myself parroting words. So if someone was telling a funny joke, I'd say, "Oh, a funny joke, and what joke was that?" The one word I heard was the word joke, and that's the word that I emphasize on. And I try to learn more by repeating that word, but it started off as a defense mechanism, but now it's a way of masking that I don't really understand, or I can't keep up with the conversation. So I repeat words back, and that is basically how I make conversation when I'm really overloaded, when I'm masking, because I have no other capabilities. And really, instead of forcing me to try and communicate when I'm overloaded like this, when it's completely pointless because I can't understand what's going on, and I definitely can't input my thoughts into the conversation. There's just not enough room to process the information. It's just very counterproductive to force me to have to mask and make conversations at these times. So really, when I'm overloaded and I'm having a shutdown, I do just need to rest and time out, because shutdowns are a complete shutdown of my physical, mental and emotional abilities, and it does mean that I lose the ability to work out what to say and how to talk and how to communicate. But I get in trouble if I say, or if I have to hide away from conversation. I get in trouble if I ignore conversation because I simply haven't got the abilities to make notice of it. And so I've been forced to mask and pretend that I'm okay and parrot the conversation back in an effort to make it appear like I'm capable and I'm not autistic. People don't understand, so we are forced to continue. And that means that we're always masking, and we're always completing these life skills and our efforts with masking to the least of our abilities, because we're constantly forced to mask. It's a classic example with school, for instance. You're always forced to go to each lesson and mask your way through it. You know, At school, you're forced to sit down, you're not allowed to stim, you're not allowed to have sensory breaks or do anything that can actually help support you as an autistic person, and you're forced to mask the whole way through because you're so afraid of getting in trouble and because you're afraid of bullying. So you force yourself to mask, and this means that everything you do is just done to the lowest of your abilities. And then you get in trouble for not getting good grades and for not being able to behave in the appropriate way at school, even though you're desperately trying. You're desperately trying to be good. You're desperately trying to mask and do the things that society has taught you that you need to do. Because part of autism is the need for justice and honesty and rule-abiding routines and structure. So I am the need for justice and routine, which means I am never intentionally bad or rude. I am never intentionally going to behave in a bad way because I'm always trying to be good. It's such an innate biological detail that drives my everyday life, and with this comes the masking. Constantly forced to mask, but at some point the abilities to mask run out, and even though I'm masking, I can still get in trouble. I'm still judged to be rude or naughty or selfish, which is a form of unintentional gaslighting. It's a form of unintentional emotional abuse, because we can't help the way that we are. We can't help that we need to stim. We can't help these difficulties we have, and it needs to be more widely understood, the needs that we have and how to actually help us, because expecting us to mask and change everything about ourselves to fit into a neurotypical community is just so unfair and very harmful. The truth is there are many types of masking, and most autistic people do it day to day, and we don't even realise that actually the masking has come from the society around us and our own psychological barriers to being ourselves. I mask every day, and it's exhausting and it's painful and it's uncomfortable, but I'm forced to do it because society doesn't understand me. And it does give me awful shutdowns that can last for days. Losing the ability to talk or walk or do any life skills, being unable to even dress myself or have a shower. And because I mask so often, I spend most of my days in a constant shutdown. For instance, today I'm hiding behind this amazing Facebook filter. Thank you, Facebook. Because I am just in too much pain to be able to manage all of my spoons of energy. And I knew I had to make this video, so I've had to prioritize. I don't have the energy or the abilities to be able to shower and get dressed and do makeup and make myself presentable in a way that is expected of me. And because of that, I knew that if I do all of those things, then I'm going to run out of energy to do the skills that I need to do today. I won't have the energy to do the washing up or the video or be able to talk. So I've had to prioritize. I'm hiding behind a filter because, quite frankly, I need to hide. And even though I'm proud of my autism, and I'm proud, and I see it as a gift, I don't think the world truly understands just how exhausting it is to be autistic. And there's a reason why I'm hiding behind that filter, and that's because I haven't got the skills or the energy or the abilities to be able to do everything right now. So I'm masking. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, today's episode. Next week's episode for Friday Focus is going to be all about executive dysfunction in the form of story time. So I hope you enjoy it and see you next week. Bye!